नाजरीन, सदाए हिंद उर्दू में आपका खैर मकदम है। मैं हूँ इम्तियाज़ुल्लाह खान कासवी। बेंगलोर शहर का मारूफ इदारा बिस्मिल्लाह एजुकेशनल ट्रस्ट बीएटी कॉलेज ने निज़ाम तालीम में बेहतरी लाने वक्त के तकाजे के साथ नई कौमी तालीमी पॉलिसी 2020 के तहत चैलेंजेस और मौक़े एक प्रोग्राम इनेकाद किया। ख़वातीन में नई तालीमी पॉलिसी, इनकी इस तरक्की पर चैलेंजेस, वक्त के तकाजे के साथ निज़ाम तालीम पर बेंगलोर शहर का यह इदारा बीएटी कॉलेज ने मौसर इक़दाम उठाते हुए इस प्रोग्राम में साबिक़ मरकज़ी वज़ीर और राज्यसभा के साबिक़ डिप्टी चेयरमैन जनाब के रहमान खान और प्रोफेसर एंड डायरेक्टर SSMRV कॉलेज बेंगलोर मोहतरमा डॉक्टर गीता को मेहमान खुसूसी मदऊ किया।
To realize the dream of transforming the education system and making it truly relevant for the challenges of 21st century, National Education Policy NEP 2020 was approved by the Government of India on 29 July 2020. BD Sadatun-Nisa Degree College for Women organized a one-day national conference on challenges and opportunities NEP 2020 on March 15, 2023. As an internal quality assurance cell initiative, the Department of Commerce and Management had organized this conference on how to make institutions multidisciplinary. The foremost challenge that we need to ponder on how and to integrate different skills in each of these courses so that students have more choices that will prepare them for their future. Researchers, academicians, professionals, students, industry experts, and administrators participated in the conference. The conference comprised of inaugural session, technical session, 2 tracks of paper presentations, and valedictory session. Dr. K. Rahman Khan, educationist, former Union Minister of Minority Affairs, former Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, inaugurated the conference, delivered his inaugural address, and released the book of abstracts on the occasion. Dr. Geeta R., Director and Professor of SSMRV College, delivered the keynote address. Ms. Salma Fatima, Vice Principal, Department of Commerce and Management and convener of the conference, compared with zeal and enthusiasm. Principal welcomed the dignitaries. Briefing about the conference was given by Director of BET Institutions, Professor Muhammad Anis, and the inaugural session was successfully completed with the vote of thanks proposed by Ms. Arshia I, Assistant Professor, Department of Management and co-convener of the conference. Resource person for the technical session was Dr. Farooq Pasha, HOD, Commerce and Management, Government First Grade College, Kengeri. The technical session focused on challenges and opportunities of NEP 2020. The conference received a total of 25 papers from the educational institutions from the state of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, and from various districts of Karnataka state. Dr. Zamir Pasha, Associate Professor, St. Claret College, Bengaluru, and Dr. Bidisha Sarkar, Department of Management, Christ, deemed to be University, moderated the paper presentations for 2 tracks. Track 1 had 4 delegates presenting papers in online mode and 9 in offline mode. And Track 2 had 12 delegates presenting papers in offline mode. During the valedictory session, the rapporteur of the conference, Ms. Aisha Bibi, Assistant Professor, Department of Management and IQAC Coordinator, presented the report of the conference. Certificates were given at the end of the valedictory session to the presenters and participants, and conference concluded with National Anthem. This national conference on challenges and opportunities NEP 2020 is an attempt by BET Sadatun-Nisa Degree College to engage academic fraternity in meaningful deliberations, along with spreading awareness regarding NEP, which will contribute towards the intellectual wealth of the nation. Proceedings and papers presented in the conference will be published in the print version with ISBN. The number is allotted for the conference proceedings publications by Rajaram Mohan Roy National Agency for ISBN, and letter for OOD facility is available to the college faculty who are participating and presenting papers by Joint Director of Collegiate Education, Bangalore.
Around and inviting people, the hospitable touch that they had to this conference and the meticulousness with which they have been working on this. It was really amazing, truly amazing. So I'm very glad to be here to deliver the keynote address for the conference today. And this morning, as we all know, is really wonderful. We all are here together. And the main context for this NEP 2020 was the changing knowledge landscape and the employability index, which indicated that less than 12% of the undergrad students are getting placed. The employability index is really low for undergrad students. In higher education, when we talk about MBA and other degree programs, MBA engineering degree programs as well, on an average the employability index is below 20%. Besides this, we see sea change in the skill need as industrial revolutions pass by. We see from industry 1.0, today we are in industry 4.0, which is completely driven by cognitive technologies. From prediction to prescription, we are moving towards cognitive technologies, and all this this is completely changing the knowledge landscape, and the skill requirement is changing from time to time. While we are still trying to gear up to Industry 4.0, already there is onset of Industry 5.0 and corporates are looking towards it. Elon Musk, the SpaceX CEO, when he just posted when he tweeted saying that hyper-automation was a mistake. So that opened up avenues for many new thoughts and perspectives across domains, because just leaving everything to automation and cognitive technologies alone would not suffice. So we really need to have a human touch to it, be more sustainable, come up with technologies, processes, systems, reinvent things and reconfigure procedures and processes to align not just with the cognitive technologies but also have a human touch to it, make it more sustainable, more accessible to everyone, make it all inclusive. So it's very important to have all of these. That's the reason why I say that NEP 2020 is definitely a welcome move, and it has some disruptive suggestions and recommendations. Most of it is indicative, and they're suggestive in approach rather than they're not making it mandatory. But some of them, especially when it comes to language, the main focus of NEP 2020 is to see that we cater to the diverse learning needs of students and also bridge the skill gap that is prevalent across. Because most of the prevalent education system mostly focuses on imparting knowledge. But we are not, when we talk about the KSA framework, knowledge, skills and abilities, we see that the focus of education is mostly around imparting knowledge. Skills, of course, we are working towards it, but to what extent these skills inculcate an ability in the learners to acquire that ability to work. So that is where the employability index for the country is really low right now. And this NEP definitely would work towards bridging that gap, make people more, rather than saying employable, they would like to create entrepreneurs, foster entrepreneurial skills, and also generate thought power in people, which will enable them to start their own business, create jobs in the nation, and then take it forward that way. So that's the thrust of NEP 2020. Of course, many of us still see it as a conundrum or confusion, because NEP 2020, do we have systems, processes and procedures in place? Many laws, the regulatory environment has to be reconfigured. Then NEP 2020 proposes certain things. In the keynote address, I feel that this NEP 2020, education itself is a very powerful weapon which forms the hearts and minds of students, the young youth in the country, and it impacts their lives very positively. It develops a character in each one of them to allow them to bloom to their full potential. Right now, the system that we have, where they are imparting knowledge only using English as medium of exchange, the confidence level of people is really low. That's why the emphasis now, the focus of NEP 2020 is to ensure that people are
members of the board of management of the BET institutions, distinguished participants in this one-day national seminar on NEP, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to inaugurate this important one-day national conference on challenges and opportunities NEP 2020. Just now, you have heard Dr. Gita, and she has highlighted the important aspect of NEP 2020. She has also highlighted the opportunities and challenges in NEP 2020. There is plenty of opportunities in this new education policy, because after almost 35 years, we have, after National Education Policy 85, now this is the education policy after 35 years. Naturally, in this 35 years, the world has changed, the country has embarked on a massive development, and we have become one of the largest economy in the world. So naturally, unless we revamp our educational system, we will not be able to face not only the challenges in the world, but also to become a true #1 economy in the world, plus to take the country toward development path. Education is important. Without education, because no country can prosper, no country can develop. So, system of education is most important, and particularly when the country is facing new challenges. It is a well-laid policy. It has a lot of opportunities, and it provides several opportunities to students, and also it emphasizes what is important is that there should be trained teachers, and emphasis is given on training of the teachers, because teachers are very important. As Dr. Gita was mentioning two examples of the professors who are teaching, and how the teaching is a skill today. Teaching is not just, it is not only today, teaching is a skill right from the time we started education system. But yet, teaching is not received that much of importance. Just the teaching was just a person becomes a teacher qualified as the diploma or a degree as B.Ed is sufficient for a teacher, and that itself is a skill. Maybe that was this way in the earlier stages. Now that is not the case. Teaching is a skill, is as important as any other professional training, like a doctor, engineer, management consultant. So teaching has to be taken to that level. Teachers are to be respected, and there should be a lot of opportunity. There should not be migration from teaching professions to other professions, because the teacher should feel that he is secure and he is able to concentrate in teaching the students. So that should be the way. The level of teaching should be equal to any other professionals in the country. So then only you can achieve these objectives of the NEP. The major objective of the NEP is to have universal access to education. The universal access to education, still we are not able to attain as a country, because the aim is up to the 12th standard. There should be a compulsory, there should be a universal access to education. If you treat the real scenario today, we are not even 50 or 60% of the universal access to the education up to the 12th level. The 12th level is the base, that is the foundation. From then only you can change to the various other things. So unless we strengthen the base, the foundation up to the 12th level, but providing all the opportunities, we will not be able to achieve the challenges, we face the challenges. Similarly, the opportunities which have been given to students to have multiple entry into the various courses while pursuing this one course, you can simultaneously take another course. That is another opportunity has been provided. And now that another opportunity is that you are not confined to, if you take a 10th science, 11th science or mathematics, or if you take a humanities, then you cannot change. But now you have an opportunity to change. So anytime you can change, and there is the education system itself will absorb that the change is absorbed. So there are so many opportunities that almost 33 areas which have been highlighted in the new education policy. But the challenges, what are the challenges? Challenges as we fail in implementation. Our problem is India is a very large country. There should be total involvement, both private and public sector. Because we have seen sometimes these such challenging areas cannot be fulfilled by only government or by private sector. There should be very good combination with the private and public sector, as Dr. Geeta also mentioned, resources. In spite of all our things, we are not able to mobilize the required resources for implementing the policies. We are not yet able to implement the Right to Education Act till now. We have, because that is also one of the major changes which brought to education, to improve the infrastructure, improve the quality of education. Whatever is there in the compulsory right to education, some of the things has been incorporated in the NEP also. So unless you have a proper infrastructure. Now today, what is the state of affairs of our schools at the villages? Schools in primary school, schools in the government sector. They have very poor infrastructure. So unless you improve and invest on the infrastructure, whether it is right to education or it is the national education policy, we are still not able to, we have a aim to spend the national education policy discussed that we should spend at least minimum of 6% of the GDP. Are we able to spend? This goal is fixed, 6% of GDP for education and 6% of GDP for health, but still we have not raised more than 2 to 2.5% of the GDP. So if that is the case, how can you achieve this, face these challenges? How can you achieve the policy to be implemented? So this is the big challenge for, not for the people, but for the people who, the executive who wants to implement these policies. Policies are laudable, policies are well thought of, but when you cannot implement the policy, there will be a frustration in the society. And that should not happen, because when there is a total combination, when the challenges are taken, it is the duty of the government to provide all resources at their level. Then only the policies will be successful.